Okay, so a few people have asked me about my red cappy rotation and what I do when I play red captain. Disclaimer, I'm not the best, but I'm also not the worst, so I might as well make a video on what I do. Um, First things first, traits. This is basically a red cappy trait setup for rating. It's just all standard. Virtues, 2 offensive, 3 defensive. This is pretty much standard. My stats are nothing insane, really. Um, Mastery 735k, crit 552. It's just all right stats. It's nothing out of the ordinary. This rotation does rely on the set from Remercant, so just get that. Now, as to the basics of the rotation and why I do it the way I do it. The objective is to make a sort of streamlined rotation that is replicable, that is not has not too many decisions within it, but that does decent damage, that does all the buffs you can do, and that keeps up Battle Hardened and Battle Readied. And I don't want to sacrifice Battle Hardened at the expense. I don't want to do more damage at the expense of sacrificing Battle Hardened, right? So I also, as you can see, I have minus 15% incoming melee damage, which means, yes, I use the Legacy. Um, Battle Hardened incoming damage Legacy. The other legacies are all just standard. These legacies are also standard. What I do is I swap um, emblem for bleed pulses for grave wound. Now, let's go into the rotation. I open up with Time of Need. If you can't in that raid fight open with Time of Need because you got to save it, like for Thossalon, you want to save it for the burn, you can always open with a tonic. Does the same thing for this, for the purposes of this. Um, Sure Strike, Death Blow. This will put us on Battle Hardened. Will get us ready to use Blade of Elendil whenever we want, and then we can start with what I call Phase 1. I split the rotation into 3 phases. Basically, a phase is between getting ready, Battle Readied and Battle Hardened. Once you get Battle Hardened, you get Battle Readied again, then you're starting Phase 2. So I do Battle Shout, Sure Strike, Grave Wound, Cutting Attack, Sure Strike, Blade of Elendil, Death Blow. That's Phase 1. I know that by using Grave Wound before cutting attack, I'm not spreading it. I will, however, spread it the second, you spread the bleed when you do that. I will spread it the second time Grave Wound comes around. I still think it's subpar compared to, I guess, how other people could do it, but because of how cooldowns line up, I've decided this is the best way to do it. And also, there aren't that many fights in Remercant where the Cappy AoE will be like that significant. Because in Shelob you're mostly burning, and in Thossalon everything just dies anyway. So phase 1, as I said, Battle Shout, Sure Strike, Grave Wound, Cutting Attack, Sure Strike, Blade of Elendil, Death Blow. Phase 2, Battle Shout, Sure Strike, Grave Wound, Blade of Elendil, Death Blow. Also, whenever kick is up, you can cut Blade of Elendil with kick. Phase 3, Shadow's Lament, Inspire, Blade of Elendil, Death Blow. And that's it. You go back to phase 1. So pretty simple. Now, things to note. On phase 2, you sometimes have to wait for the cooldown on Grave Wound. So if you get a defeat event, you want to use it after you use Grave Wound on phase 1, but before you use Grave Wound on phase 2. And also, of course, before you use Death Blow again, so that in case you get another crit, you can get another defeat event. Um, yeah, I don't think there's that much else to explain. I'll just give a demonstration. I normally get between, so I rarely get under 100k DPS, and I normally get under 105. So it's pretty consistent, really. So you see, this is my opening, and then I go straight into the rotation. The start was pretty meh, but we'll see. No crits means I need to wait for a while for Grave Wound, which is very unideal. But that just happens sometimes. If RNG doesn't help out. So I got a crit. I'm going to use Grave Wound first. And then I'm going to make use of my defeat event. This is phase 2. We're finishing up phase 2. And now we'll move into phase 3. Phase 1. I should reapply rousing. closing out phase 1. Now we'll go into phase 2. Since we have to wait for Grave Wound, we might as well use this time for the buffs. Don't forget Grave Wound, Blade of Elendil, Death Blow. Phase 3. Phase 1. Phase 2. No crit. Pretty bad. I'm going to have to wait for Grave Wound. That's the only thing I really don't like about this rotation, but what you gonna do? And phase 3. This is phase 1 again. This is phase 2 again. And phase 3. Now, I'm gonna try to use all the buffs during phase 2, which is when I have to wait. So I use that gap to just use my buffs. Or some of them at least. We're in phase 1 right now. Now we're going into phase 2. Now you'll see I'll do some of my buffs. Now I'll use the Grave Wound. I might as well do this and this. And now I'll go into phase 3 and then start over with... I like to do phase 3 during Oathies because it's the most bursty phase, right? Though I might be losing some damage because I always go down a little bit. Oh shit, I missed that defeat event. That's fucked up. Well, that wasn't ideal. See if I can salvage it last minute. Under 100k. That's very bad. But oh well. The start was horrendous. It picked up and then it went down. Unlucky. But yeah, the average is... I very rarely get under 100k. I normally get... I guess the average is like 104. I actually... Let's see. Just before starting the video... Where is it? Was it here? Yeah, look. Just before starting the video, I did 107. So that's just unfortunate. Um... But yeah, that's what I do. I don't think I forgot anything. That's basically the gist of it.